Recording the Ace Micheals show, The Buzz, on internet all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My guest today, Allison Yvonne, is a entrepreneuress with a degree who started a cool business she's going to tell us about. So I'm excited to hear that. How are you, dear? Are you on live?
Yes, I am. How are you doing, Ace?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. You know what I mean? I'd rather be hanging in than hanging out.
Well, it depends on the situation.
It depends, exactly. I had to think about it after I said it. I was like, well, I guess it depends on where you're hanging out at, right?
What time of the day is it?
So, you're calling from what city?
I'm calling from Costa Mesa.
From Costa Mesa. Oh,
California,
beautiful
yes.
Costa Mesa.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled over here.
Nice. Costa
nice
Mesa.
outside.
Very nice. And so have you picked up any Spanish in Costa Mesa? You speak Spanish?
Un poquito.
¿Hablas español?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It's carne asada. That's all I know.
Carne asada, yeah, burrito. No,
That's it. That's all I need to know. I'm good.
In college, and some of it stuck, some of it didn't. It depends on how much tequila I decide to drink for the night.
So tell me your story. So you've got an interesting thing. I found you on the world famous Facebook, trolling around, and found your profile. Was very impressed. But bring us up to speed on what's going on with you.
All right. Well, I work as a manager at a digital marketing agency. It's very interesting, actually very Facebook-like environment. So that is my day-to-day life. We have kegs, we have all the wonders, and I have a team of over 45 now amazing people that make websites and all of that jazz. So basically during the day, I'm a tech kind of gal. Around that constructed my idea to make this website, All Things Sexy. Basically, in college, I went to school for psychology. I mean, I love people and dating and all the weird, crazy crap that people do, so that really made me take an interest and get a degree in it. And now my website ties in my life as a model, which I will get to in a second.
Thank you for prioritizing.
Yes, and ties in that life and the sexy and the hot, and is basically giving advice, dating advice, style advice, basically all the things that a woman can be sexy and how she can live a life as an entrepreneur and as a successful woman and really build an empire and feel good about ourselves. Because I really feel that is sort of a thing that might be lacking a little bit. And there's no reason you can't be hot and have a man or two, whatever your fancy is, whatever makes you happy. And that's kind of what the blog is about. And I really developed that a few months ago, but I've been thinking about it for a few years.
Wow.
So that's my website. It's www.allthingssexy.org. That's currently what I'm running at this point now. And really, that's my baby. But the real me, the real background, the backstory has always been in the model and the entertainment world. I've done so many TV shows. I've finally got IMDb credit for a movie that I did. It's coming out soon, actually. It's called Defeated.
Congratulations.
I play a nurse in that, as well as the modeling side too. Acting and modeling has really been my passion and always something that I've done since about middle school for acting and the end of high school for modeling.
Wow. How did you get started? I want to talk about the modeling first. How did you get started in that? Because a lot of people, they want to be a model, but they have no idea where to get started. They go to these agencies. The agencies give us $1,000. Like, how did you get going with this?
Well, that's part of the fun of the site too, because everybody wants to be sexy. Everybody wants to be hot. That's hot. You think of being a young girl and modeling, that's what your dream is. And some of the things that I'm going to be posting are the insider's view of that, and also being able to have this other life that's like a normal life if you choose that. If you don't, but people always construct the idea that you can't have both.
Right.
And you can have both, because that's where I like making money on both sides as well. But for me personally, modeling, Craigslist, before people were getting knocked off on there, they did actually have pretty legitimate postings for modeling. And I did use that back maybe 8 years ago. But at this point now, it's just contacts and networking and meeting the right people. My best advice would be get a hold of somebody that you trust and read something that's insightful as far as advice for where to go with modeling, and take it from that point forward, because a lot of the agencies, cash up front is really, that's not the way to go, and that may not even be the best fit for you.
So you're saying a lot of agencies, they do cash up front, and so that's kind of a hustle. You go in.
Well, I mean, you don't know what kind of jobs you're going to want to book either. I mean, you could go the sexy route, you could go the fashion route, you could go either route or whatever route you want to do. And agencies are not typically going to cater to, although they say, your specific needs. So you'll end up, if you could, be in 10 different agencies, right? But who's going to pay that monthly? So to be able to really find what is good for you and have work all the time, and work that you enjoy and you're going to be good at, you got to find something where you're almost your own boss. That's through connections and networking yourself.
Now, speaking of that, because you've got an exotic look,
yes.
Did you find it easier or harder to get work with agencies based on your look?
That's the interesting point, is when I did some of the bigger agencies with acting, it was so hard. Oh my gosh. Especially when I was just 18, 19, in my 20s now, it was a mission impossible, because being mixed, or even being light-skinned, or being in between is probably the worst, because it's very category specific for agencies. And when they have a call list that they're going to want to book people, they're going to want to book what's on that list, and they're not going to have a profile and think about mixed being a specific option as opposed to just something that's more category specific. But now, through connections and where I've kind of fallen into my place in the industry, it's becoming a lot easier.
And what about in life in general? I mean, being a mixed girl in this particular political and racial climate, do you find it complicated, or
I try to not talk about politics, that's for sure. Because it is interesting. It's definitely interesting. I will admit, though, I feel like there is an empowering point to it. It is more of something that is idealized now, rather than, I could say, when I was 12 or 13, that was not idealized. I mean, there was a few girls in music videos in the 90s that were sexy, and Halle Berry and those types, but there was not a lot.
Right.
And now it's becoming an ideal. Memes are mixed is everything, and things like that, and that really is, of course it feels good. Of course it feels good, because I always, I felt good about myself. However, it's odd to grow up not having a place. And now I think, although the politics and the world may be disastrous everywhere around, I do think that being multicultural is definitely something that is coming up and is more appreciated by people.
Do you date a certain type of a man? Do you have like a certain form that you have them fill out that fits you? You know what I mean?
Yes, I have accepted, mail-in requests before. I'm just kidding. No, I do. I do actually like, I go by intelligence. I like an intelligent man because I like a very witty sense of humor. I need somebody that's going to keep up with me. So that is not category specific physically, but that's like, someone can't keep up with a joke, they're off the table. But, I do like some nice eyes. They could be colored, they could be just beautiful, but that's so important to me.
Right.
All.
And so you're not necessarily dating a black guys or Latin guys or white. It sounds like you're open.
I do have a thing for white guys.
Really?
I do. I always have.
And does that put you in a certain category? You know, like you go in a room with black girls and they're like, "Ooh, this girl shows up with this white dude." You know what I mean?
You know, maybe there are people that are like that. I'm sure there are. You know, it's never been told to my face because I feel like it either is one end where I'm like, really, do not mess with me, kind of shit, or I'm really sweet. Like I am just, I've not had issues or conflicts with people before to present where I would have one preference or another, especially with friends. Mm-hmm. And my personality, I think, too, has always just been kind of in all the realms, all the realms. So it really fits to, you know, downtown LA clubs or Orange County Lounge or whatever that is. I've not had issues. So I do admit that is a benefit to that.
Doesn't it seem foolish that in this day and age, 2016, that we're so hung up on a person's color, a person's sexuality, a person's things that really really, first off, a person can't change their color. They're born with it.
Oh, that's insane to me. That's insane. You can't change. You're born with that. It's like being born with an eye color, or like we feel sorry for people who have one arm. Why are we gonna pass judgment upon someone who has a skin color? Is that not exactly the same thing?
Right. You're born with what you're born. Exactly. And
you're born with what you're born with. It is what it is. And to pass judgment on that is so stupid. I mean, it's like you are not judging action at all. Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous. I think it's just really low level thinking. It is.
And it hasn't hurt you in the career that you've chosen. It hasn't hurt you at all.
It has not. It may have tried to, but I think that's part of why I want to put a message out there so much, because I have everything going against me to make something out of a career and an entrepreneur and a model. And that's being a woman, attractive by whatever standards, and mixed. Mm-hmm. And I live in Orange County. There's like 1% of us mixed girls here.
Right.
Not very many, and everything's run by old white dudes.
Right.
So this situation is not ideal for me to make money and be successful, but I was like, I am going to make it here, no matter what.
Yeah. Now, breaking into the business world as a female entrepreneur, is that hard? You think it's complicated to break into that? Like, if you were a guy doing the exact same thing that you're doing, do you think it would be easier?
I think it would be easier.
Oh, really?
Well, it depends on exactly what you're promoting. I think just websites in general, it's more of a man's game. A guy is going to sit, because I work with SEO dudes all day. A guy is cool with playing video games with his dudes at 2 a.m, and they're going to help each other work on their website together.
Huh, interesting.
I could not get one of my girlfriends to do my coding if I had a gun to my head. Pretty much.
Right.
So as far as the actual production of getting your ideas like out there is harder, because you usually, 85% of the people I've asked for help who have created what I have so far have been men, just because that's what they know. They've wanted to study what it takes to make a website and what you really need to get traffic to it and out there. Women, however, do know this thing that we have now, that's social media in a business realm. We take better pictures, of things than you guys. You guys aren't going to think about a coffee cup and a sexy shoe and a bead and then go to this website and it gets 22,000 likes because every girl on the planet thinks it's cute. Right. I think that is more woman oriented. So that is cool that can be a part of it and really be a part of your business.
Do you think it's a downside to your business that you're an attractive entrepreneuress coming in and doing? You think that men don't take you as seriously?
I certainly think it makes it interesting. Yeah, I think it is a downside. I think that it distracts people away sometimes from my message if I'm trying to be serious. But you know what? I'm going to continue to post both sides of it because I really feel that I wouldn't have the knowledge that I do with that struggle if I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like eventually it's going to tie together. You will understand the message if you know being attractive does suck. Being hit on by a boss or a coworker or something and not, having a situation or something that you just need to deal with, or you can walk and you don't want to do that, or just things in life that I think that attractive women in the workplace or as business owners deal with, for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's not a cry wolf situation. This is something that other people don't deal with, and I do have to.
Right.
What it is.
and you know what was interesting to me is like Beyonce, who's probably doing the best of any woman in any industry right now. Yeah. She said that she doesn't make as much money as a man. She said if there was a man doing the same thing that she was doing, she's pretty much guaranteed she's going to make less than that man. Do you agree with that? As a woman, do you agree that is it that slanted that women won't make as much as men?
In a business sense, possibly, yes. If you tie in other elements of your creativity, probably not. I think that combining the degree aspect, education, the entrepreneurial business side of it, with modeling and entertainment experience, and then pulling that all into management, I don't think maybe necessarily a man does have all four of those things. If necessarily. Maybe he has the business and the networking, or maybe he has the finances and the plan, and maybe, those two elements don't equate to my four. So it is possible once this brand is built that I could make more. But I do think what Beyonce says is accurate in the sense of this is just this one job versus this one job. For a man and a woman, a man might make more possibly. Because if a woman worked harder to prove herself, there's a lot to that. There's a lot to that. Depends. Having a woman prove herself is, I think, something that the workplace always requires more than just a man.
Now, see, I have a philosophy, given that we have a woman that's running for president right now, I have a philosophy that whatever things might be in her past, whatever her politics are, I don't think people think of that before they think of a woman. And they go, well, I'm not sure she's ready. What do you mean you're not sure she's ready?
Well, yeah, because she's not developed enough. She's missing a part. That's what not ready means. I think it's almost like an idiom for, this not being ready, which means not ever being ready.
Right.
Man.
Right.
And it is what it is, though. A dude doesn't want to have her face on his bumper sticker. He wants a man's face on his bumper sticker.
That's an interesting... I never thought about that. That's an
so many
point.
elements that I think just psychologically people maybe even don't realize themselves or won't admit that they truly are not going to want to be led and controlled by a woman.
Now, we don't have enough time to go into why you think that is, but I agree with you, but it would seem like that would be so cool, right? That we would want that.
Right, but I think some of the people that have the strongest opinions, or maybe some of the most boisterous actions in these kinds of political issues don't think that.
Right. And so growing up as a girl, did you always kind of have in the back of your mind that most guys wouldn't think you were good enough and most guys wouldn't be willing to follow you, but you had to overcome that anyway?
Actually I was kind of a dork until high school. So the brains always were there, and I feel like I always was respected for that. I wanted the hotness. I almost wanted the challenge. I didn't give a shit if anybody was going to make it more difficult for being attractive, because I wanted to have it be at the end of the whole thing when I'm who knows, 40 or 50 or whatever, living in my little Newport Beach house.
That's not the end of the thing, by the way.
Well, there's
40 or 50 can't possibly be the end.
No, right. No, I'm just at the beach house that I would like to have as a life goal.
Right.
That would be where I said I didn't have to compromise for this. I didn't have to not wear these kind of nails. I didn't have to not wear these earrings or dye my hair or not wear a dress to work. I'm going to do that, and it's going to be on my terms. And I want just as I will prove the business sense of it just as good as a man would in a button-up.
Nice. And I'm looking forward to checking out your website. So give us the site again.
Please, it's www.allthingsplural.sexy.org. Allthingssexy.org.
Nice. And do you have a big launch coming up? Are you doing like a grand opening party at the blah blah?
Well, not a party yet. That will be coming soon. But yes, I am going to have a bit of a launch with some of the products that I'll be selling. I worked for Swarovski for a while and did some custom designed items and some sexy blinged out lingerie and some fun things like that. So that's going to be coming up soon. And also tomorrow I'm going to be posting a new blog. So check for that.
Nice. Allison, thank you so much for being on the show today. I am very much looking forward to everything you're going to put forward. I wish you luck and success, my friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I hope you come back and do the show whenever you want.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to.
All right, it's Allison on the show. And hey, man, it's allthingssexy.org. Check it out. And you know what I say? Live the life you love the life you live.